You're allowed not to like something.
You're allowed not to like something, but I think complaint is once you've aired the fact you don't like it more than twice.
See what you mean. More than twice? So only take...
I'm going to give myself 2 because I'm gracious. I'm gracious with my feelings. How you doing?
Good. What about you?
I'm good. It has been eventful today.
Yeah. Well, it's like the third time we're trying to record.
We've had kids' interventions.
Yeah.
But, give thanks anyway. They feel like they can come to us still.
Yeah.
That's a good thing for now.
Yeah, and I won't complain.
No.
All right, so what are we talking about today?
You're talking about complaining. Every time you think that you've figured out how to stop complaining about one thing, you realise the other things you complain about.
Yeah.
Or is that just me?
It's the same thing, but it's the reason why, despite the challenge we had today, challenges, I decided there's no point to complain.
No.
It's all part of it. Yeah.
No.
What would you say a complaint is? Like, for you, because, you're allowed not to like something.
You're allowed not to like something, but I think complaint is once you've aired the fact you don't like it more than twice.
See what you mean. More than twice? So only take...
I'm going to give myself 2 because I'm gracious. I'm gracious with my feelings, okay? So I'm going to give myself 2 times to get it out the system and just to bring it up. And then that will be it. Though I know sometimes there's some stuff that I can look at, be like, and then just leave. Not even bring it up. Not even speak on it.
Yeah. Some people will say, you know what, then you don't like it doesn't bother you that much.
That's not true. I think it's more about okay, this is, I don't know what her name was, but she came up with a thing. So at the time where I was trying to really get through, get into a state where I don't have to complain about the things that I don't prefer.
Yeah.
There's one of these ladies and she was talking about the idea of just saying when things pop up that you don't prefer, instead of saying the normal, the regular, because we all know what the regular is.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's if you speak French as well. You know what I mean? Just saying, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It helps.
Yeah.
It's better than saying, oh, Sheila! Oh, sugar!
True. What did you used to complain about then?
Quite frankly, it'd probably be easier for me to talk about the things I didn't complain about than the things that I did. Once I was aware that I was doing the complaining, I realised how much I complained. So
why did you stop complaining? What was so wrong about it for you? Not wrong, but bothering you about complaining. Because you bothered about something, therefore you complain.
Yeah.
Are you complaining about the complaining?
No.
So what is it?
I realised that complaining about something wasn't serving me anymore. Because the very said thing I would complain about would come up again and again and again.
So would you say it's like a magnet?
Yeah. It was once I realised that where attention goes, energy flows. Complaining about something is a form of putting your attention on it.
Yeah, so
it's not that I'd go to a restaurant, have bad service and not make somebody aware of that bad service. Because to me, I think the word complaint has been kind of taken also to misused in a way to make people step out of their power and feel you know what, I don't want to complain. Kind of way to play small.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm talking about. I'm talking about you're in traffic and you're complaining about the traffic. 4 hours has gone by, you feel like your blood sugar's low and you're hungry. you are impossible to talk to.
So you think it's not necessarily what you say, but it's the way you behave as well?
Yeah. Because it's the way you feel inside. Like, I'm not trying to say fake it, but I'm like, if it's visceral for you, then you have to think about how long are you walking around all day like this. So once I became mindful about the things I'd be complaining about, I realized that it would be as small as if I'm quite clumsy. When I can be, like, things happen, you know what I mean? And that's not criticism. It just is. I drop things sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah? But if I drop it, instead of being like, oh, or oopsie, I'll be like, shit. Fucking hell. You know, like, it'd be all a thing. Rather than just like, okay. Interesting. Which is a way I kind of like, okay, allowed myself to pull away and think, okay, so I have a choice not to complain about it.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So,
does it mean I have to prefer knocking over something or breaking something or dropping something? But then it allowed me to take a second to think, how big is this? On a scale of 1 to 10.
So would you say that it's more of a realization that nothing is that bad?
Nothing's that deep.
That deep for you to put that type of energy behind it. What type of energy is it then? Complaining, like, how would you qualify it? Would you explain it? The energy behind complaining. Like, if I was saying, you know, you're familiar with the energy of love,
yeah,
of sadness, of there's many type of energy, but you know what I mean. Like the main ones where we know the feeling that is attached to these energies.
Yeah.
What type of energy would you say complaining is?
I would say that complaining is an energy of irritation and rage. Anger. Yeah.
Would you say anger?
I'd put it at anger. It's not full blown. It doesn't have to be full blown outrage, but it's like irritation, which is like anger energy, isn't it?
Okay.
Or at least like regret.
All right. So energy of regret.
Like that type of energy. It's like regret and anger.
And what is that? So would you say that the reason why you can't complain is because you cannot stay in that energy?
All I knew is it would bring up situations that would give me more reasons to complain.
Okay.
So that snowball effect, more things to complain about that day.
Okay. So for you, it's like you realize that there was no point because you only get more of the very thing you complain about.
Or something thereof. So it's like, oh, I'll give you something to complain about. That's what the universe is supposed to be like.
Okay.
Oh, you want this? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, your energy's going here. Oh, I'll bring more of that to you. No problem.
Yeah, I understand. I get it. So I mean, it's easier said than done, I guess. For a lot of people, it's what they feel. They're like, okay, yeah, but when something upset you, like, do not mention it, because it's thinking. I'm guessing that.
It's not about faking it, because like I said, like I used to complain bitterly about being hungry.
Yeah.
And two things I used to complain about. Like at the beginning, I didn't used to complain about being hungry because when I grew up as a kid, I had two people who were a bit more dominant personalities in the household who used to complain bitterly and make it everyone's problems, and I used to despise it. Like I used to be like, oh my gosh, like, do you have to make it everyone else's problem? Do you have to cause a fight because you are hungry? And then when I left home, I found myself doing it just because. And I think the because was that I didn't get to do it.
Yeah.
So I should be able to do that.
Would you say it's a matter of words?
It's words and energy. I think it's like, but once I started doing it, I was like, oh my gosh, it feels, it's exhausting. It's exhausting.
Yeah, I can.
And I've got things to do.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
It's just
like,
not practical.
Yeah, how exhausting that.
It's just not practical. Yeah. And then I used to like look back and like, or I'd look at you and you were just as hungry and you wouldn't complain. I'd be like, but he's legit right now. Like, he's fine. He's a bit hungry. Yes, he's not hungry. He's not experiencing hunger, but he's not doing it like I am, which is on top of getting worked up.
Well, I was fine. Well, for what I've noticed, because like you kind of say, there's many ways in which you can complain. I mean, there's the verbal ways, there's also acting up, there's different ways. But I realized that by not complaining, does allow you to give you the space to be okay for whatever that situation is, or at least to come to solve like a neutral, peaceful,
ground about it.
Yeah, peaceful place. I would say that. Now, it's not everything that I was fine with. I mean, yeah, maybe for not being hungry, but there's other situations. I would say my way of complaining was like always kind of justifying why things aren't going well.
Yeah.
So like, you know,
well,
environment.
It's because of this.
Because of this and
it's
and
because
that.
of this. So
yeah.
it's like a blame complaint.
So then what I noticed is like subtle things used to happen and you shouldn't even be upset about it, but just was like the drop. That how do you know that's the French version? What's the English version again?
The straw that broke the camel's back.
There you go, the straw that broke the camel's back. Yeah. So
what's the French version?
La goutte d'eau qui a fait déborder le vase.
Okay.
So basically, the drop of water that spilled over.
The
like, you know when like you know there's like a limit as far as what the water say a vase can take.
Yeah.
Term of water and one drop and it makes it all spill over. Like it's kind of like how they actually explain this situation.
Nice
So and then you find yourself being irritated by the smallest thing.
There's that too.
And then you live in an environment that is egregious to you.
Or that you feel is egregious to you. You experience it as egregious.
Well, yeah, it is for you because
you're experiencing it as such.
Yeah, and you manifested it as well.
Ugh.
Because it's like it's fully manifested.
Ugh.
Because everything allows these justifications. Quite kind of like realize that's what it was. Because obviously you had your own way to complain. I had my own way to complain. But then I realized that very quickly, like anything can be. You give a good reason to complain about everything.
Anything. Yeah, you can this is the thing about complaining. You could muster up a really good reason to complain about anything if you really tried to.
Basically.
And then I thought, so then where does this end? Because all I know is how I feel inside, and if all that happens here today is that I'm left with my feelings and more of which that I'm complaining about, then I want no part of it. It just literally came to the point where it just wasn't serving me anymore.
Yes. Do you know why it's funny?
What?
It was really, really funny. We're going to keep on doing this episode, but I realized we had a technical problem today. And then we decided we're not going to complain about it. We're just going to push on. Sam said technical problem is there. And guess what it is? Now that I evaluated it to be that microphone that's now being faulty, which we had the same microphone we sold. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And then that one's probably it's gonna be good enough for the episode, but it's one of these things that as we speak about it, it's like you have to keep your composure on that.
You mean to tell me that all of the takes that we've been doing and all the technical issues that we've been having today,
yeah,
has now arisen again?
Yeah.
Giving you a reason to actually come and test how much are you about that life, about this complaining life.
Yeah.
Are you going to complain right now?
Absolutely.
No.
I'm actually good. I'm good because you know what? I mean, I'm trying to master perfection. Do you know what? Part of complaining is you spending the time to master perfection.
Well, no, that's life. It's more harmony within yourself. Like, okay, so now this is a live complaint that could possibly come up, right? What is it really bringing up for you, though?
Well, number one is like the way the universe works. It's like we had the same mic. We say, well, we've got 2 mic. And you mentioned it. You say, are you sure we're not going to need it for anything? And I say, no, it's all right. We've got to go to the same one. We'll never use it. Let's use the one that we always use and keep it moving.
Yeah.
But then again, that also bring up the fact that had it been before, and another reason why I wanted to part with the other mic is because I did not want to live in the future too much, where I always save something just in case. So I kind of like manifest situations and justifications for them.
Yeah.
So I take responsibility on both sides, meaning that I say to myself, well, yeah, if I did keep it, then maybe I'll have another one to replace now. However, also, is it an abundant way to think? And it's not, because I cannot be certain that Mike wouldn't have had the problem the same day. You know, when things happen sometimes because of the manifestations, if it's not meant to work perfectly or whatever, it's not. And I tried to...
How about it's perfect just the way it is?
It's just, that's what I'm saying. My reason for personally complaining over the years is not seeing the perfection I wanted to see. As I let go of the idea of perfection, I have no reason to complain.
So now, what do you think about the mic?
I think the mic serves us very well.
For all the years, you can't complain. For all the years and for all the takes it's ever done, for all the recordings we've ever recorded. Yeah,
exactly. So for me, I'm just like, hey, and plus I feel abundant enough in the idea of getting a new one.
Yeah, all right.
So that's really what it is, and also not trying to get rid of these what we would see as a perfection in my life. That is what I bring up.
In all honesty, it's sticking on. It's been stuck on with sellotape.
Yeah, that's true.
Real talk.
Yeah, but obviously we moved, so we had.
It don't matter. So she's on there with sellotape right now, anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Something in you wants better.
Oh, absolutely. And
now the universe is like, you are ready because I am not working anymore.
Exactly. So you know what? It is exciting because it's like
you've got to do mic cubbing one way or another,
right? And I'm just like, you know what? Let's not make a fuss, about it. And you know, I saw you got a bit of sound in your sound, but what the hell? It doesn't matter. And no, it's funny. Like, I mean, we're literally talking about this, and this is actually what's going on. And I think on one of the episodes we did, this issue come up, but we're not sure. But it's not like, but you know, when you're like, nah, it must be me. But then, yeah. So nah, but it's all good, man. So yeah. So what would you say about
new mic on the horizon?
Say it again. Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Who knows?
What would you say then? How would you explain? How can you explain? I mean, the way you deal with it, like, because once you have a habit, we know it takes a while. I mean, or we believe it takes a while to get rid of it. To get rid of the so-called bad habits you don't like. What did you do? Like, what was your thing for you to just say, let me stop complaining, and to actually do it?
So if anyone, I don't know if anyone out there watches Bashar. Bashar is a being that is channeled by a channeler called is it Daryl Anchor?
Yeah, it's Daryl Anchor.
Yeah.
I think that's
and Bashar talks about the concept of complaining. Like, not complaining, but looking at stuff that you prefer versus the stuff you don't prefer. And then trying to stay as neutral as you can about it so that you don't manifest more of which you don't prefer. Okay?
Yeah.
So he had an analogy that he'd come up with that he liked that had something to do with another writer who'd spoken about going to a buffet and seeing something that you don't like. Yeah? So imagine you go to a restaurant and you don't like something. So there's like, you know, whatever, there's chicken, there's whatever. Maybe they've got turkey there. There's something there you don't like. And you got your plate here and you can pick anything you want to eat. And you see something you don't like and you say, I don't like that. And then you move on and you put that which you like on your plate, right? And then you just go down, sit down and eat. In a normal world, right? But what he's saying is what we tend to do with our things we don't prefer is stand there at the buffet and say, I don't like that. I really don't like that. Come, look at this. I don't like this. And then put that thing on your plate. Bring it back to said table.
Yeah, that's true.
And say, I'm not going to eat this. I really don't like this. It's running into everything else that I've put on my plate that I like. I don't like it. And then you say, you know what? Look at this, everyone, at the table. I don't like this. It's just... And once it was like explained to me like that, I was like, weird. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
So basically, if you don't like it, don't put it on your plate.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it. Don't bring it back to the table.
It's like literally having you play and be like, I don't like that, and put it on the plate every time you don't like it. I don't like this. Do you know this? I hate that, but you know what? You put it on the plate anyway. It's kind of like doing that, really.
That's what he likened it to, and I was like, it was a light bulb moment for me, and I was just like, okay. So what am I putting on my plate that I don't like, that I don't prefer?
Yeah.
And what am I bringing back to the table that I don't prefer? And then what am I telling all of the rest of the diners that I don't prefer? And then why am I going back to said buffet and picking up more of the things I don't prefer?
Yeah, I understand.
Why don't I just leave it there?
Yeah, it's true, you know, like...
And I was like, profound.
It is profound. Do you know what?
That's what got me being mindful about the things that I complain about. I was like, okay, so why is this a complaint for you? Is it because it makes you feel less than? Is it make you feel irritated? What is it? What's the feelings that are coming up why you feel like it needs to have attention brought to it? Because it's not like your complaints aren't valid. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's absolutely true.
Sometimes your complaints are actually valid. It's like, I don't prefer this.
But you know, I think like when I think about it, everything in this life that you're facing or you're experiencing, you've manifested. Doesn't matter what people think. Oh no, how can you say, you know, I wanted that to happen? You don't always manifest things knowingly. Sometimes you're not aware of, and
not mindfully. No,
mindfully. So at least not from a knowing place. A lot of the times what happened, you're just living your life, and then that's what happens. So that your circumstances, your very circumstances you are experiencing, or somewhat some of you doing now, you probably not really happy about what you're saying, so you're gonna kind of like pray or ask somewhat the universe or God, doesn't matter how you call, or source, and you say, oh, can you please change my circumstances? I don't like it, or you know, I want to have more abundance in my life and whatever. So the universe actually tend to listen to you and to actually do it. But sometimes the way you think it should be done, it's not always how it's done. So it will do things like making, say for instance, make sure this mic stop working properly. Why? Because I've asked personally, on a personal level, could you clear anything in my life that came that I don't resonate with, or I don't resonate with the person that actually gave me this very thing?
Like it was attached to some
and I
some
know
energies that didn't mean.
The only reason we kept that as well, this mic, is it was working, and you know what, it's like We could have replaced it a long time ago if you wanted to, but choose not to.
Yeah.
But then I realized how we got this mic.
Yeah.
And I was going out, but as late. I mean, not as late, but it's been a while now. I said, I clear everything.
Couple weeks though.
Yeah. But maybe it wasn't a priority because but now it's time for the mic to go, as you need to use it. The
Mind
universe is showing
you, have you got enough? If you ask yourself, have you recorded enough things on it up to now to be able to last until you need to, between the time now and the time that you foresee yourself getting another mic?
Absolutely. Anyway,
then it's perfect timing, then, isn't it?
It's perfect timing. And you know what's funny? It's because looking back, like thinking about it, you're creating literally upon my wishes. You're creating circumstance.
Yeah.
So I can't be. So every time you upset about something, you do have to really look back and ask yourself,
when did I ask for this?
Did I ask someone? Did I ask for it?
Well, I'll take it like this. Like, if I look back at all of the things, like, what did I used to complain about? I'd complain about. Let me think about this. All right. So if I complain about being hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why did I complain about being hungry, and why did it upset me so much? At the same time, I was always complaining about being hungry. Do you know what my other biggest complaint was?
Tell me.
Being overweight. Ain't that jokes?
But babe, I kid you not. I literally now thought about it, and I was like,
hear what my wish used to be. Can I have my partner? Hear me, because you bake, right?
But yeah, you pray. You pray. This is why I'm not so now. When it comes to praying, I'm not like. That's not how to do it anymore. Like, I don't do it like that.
Because it's powerful. Hear me out.
Yo.
So when I had time to sit back and be like, okay, let's see what is it? Because this is now what I do. This is now what I'll go through. So first I'll tell you what I do now, and then I'll tell you why I do what I do now. So what I do now is say to myself, all right, I don't prefer that. And then as I'm going to complain about it, I let the complaint come out, and I'm like, I just complain about something. And I'll be like, why? And then I'll say to myself, you complained about da-da-da-da-da because it brought up feelings about, and then fill in the blank.
Yeah.
And whatever that may be, that feeling, that's what I handle. That's what I transmute.
Yeah.
Because it's very rarely the thing that you're complaining about. It's usually how it makes you feel, or what feeling it brings up.
Yeah, and also
tied to it, whether it makes you feel frustration, lack, it triggers a memory that you didn't like about something else that happened that maybe you. Either way,
even if it's what's happening in circumstances, or to take you out of what you're upset about at the moment, but you cannot see it sometimes.
So then I'm going to take back the story. Complain bitterly. We'd be out. Say we go shopping, or we'd go to someone's house, or we'd go wherever it would be. And you would say to me, like, it would come to like hour number 4, 5, 6, and no food has passed my mouth. And I'm like, babes, I told you that I'm hungry, right?
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, okay, I'm hungry. Hang on, we got baby alert.
Yeah,
yes.
we've got a visitor.
Hi, Gabby.
Hey, darling. You're right.
You know that we are full-fledged in the middle of a recording.
No, but look at her. She was.
Dad, you want to say,
yeah.
Like, can I watch half mom doing Roblox, please?
She's putting you on the spot.
Yes, you can, go on.
Hey, say hi. Say hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
All right, Gabby. See you, babe.
Oh, can you close
Baba.
the door?
Shut the door, please.
Thank you.
That's lovely.
You see, if you were going, even if the mic was like recording perfectly, like you can't literally,
Listen, it is what it is.
You gotta take it easy.
Where was I?
So go ahead. So basically, what was the?
So yeah, 4 or 6 hours would pass, and I'd be like, "Excuse me, sir. You've taken me out of my home."
Yeah.
And I believe that I'm, how long am I supposed to go with my blood sugar level being this low? I would like some food. I would then maybe give or take about between half an hour and an hour to see food somewhere in my vicinity that I can eat. Had that hour or half an hour not been met, it was going to be something. I'd feel, number 1, hungry. Number 2, ignored. Number 3, not taken care of. I'm telling you what it triggered in me at the time. These are the things that I felt was justified.
I know. You're telling them, because I know.
These are the things at the time I felt justified why I should openly complain to you about the fact that you haven't fed me. You're my husband. You should feed me because I told you I'm hungry. Go rub me that food, whether it be popping into a shop or whatever. Like, feed me. I'm hungry. Not even telling you go cook. Because if we were at home, I wouldn't even be a conversation.
So what in terms of manifestations, like what would you say?
Simultaneously, yeah, though.
Yeah.
I didn't realise at the time the connection. But simultaneously, I felt, I think I'd stopped doing this. This was before our 3rd kid. So, but simultaneously, it was after we had Elliot, the second. It was after we had our 2nd kid. But simultaneously, I felt like I was overweight. I needed to lose weight. I wasn't happy. I wasn't comfortable in my skin. And I felt like I needed support. Now, you bake well.
Yeah.
You cook well, but baking? Yeah. Something special. Cakes.
It's the French in me, isn't it?
Beignets, pastries,
Yeah.
breads, all of that good stuff. Like, cookies. You're good. Like, you're good. So, I felt like, look, boo, you're not going to stop baking. I don't want you to, but at the same time, I've got to lose this weight. Stop feeding me this goodness, okay? I need support.
Yeah.
Because I stay thick.
Yeah.
And I need you to support me going on my slim thick journey, okay?
Yeah.
I need you to support it. Oh, please, man, can I have a husband who's going to support my slim thick journey? I mean, he's great. He does all this wonderful thing for me. I just, it'd be so nice if he could support me in this. Like, can he support me in this? Can he support me in this? Can he support me in this? So if we were out, I recall, if I took a second, if I told you I was hungry and you said, what do you want to eat? You would ask.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not like you would ignore me.
Yeah.
And I'd say, I don't know, I'm hungry. Okay.
Pass me my food.
Just run me my food.
Yeah, run me my food. That's how you say it. Run me my food.
And you would be like, all right then, but what do you want to eat?
Run me my food.
And I'd be like, anything. Yeah, and you'd be like, all right. And then you'd say to me, babe, you're going to have to wait a while because all that's here is KFC, McDonald's, da-da-da-da. And you would list all the shit, the complete shit that would not support my
journey. Yeah.
So I wasn't actually waiting because you didn't want to support me. I was only waiting because you were supporting me. It's different.
But we all
I had to sit with that for a while.
Yeah, but we all done it.
I love you, babe. I really do.
I love you too, baby.
I see it now.
I love you too, darling.
Well, I saw it ages ago, but you know what I mean.
No, I know. But you know what? We all did it in our own way. I mean, I did it as well. I think, do you know what it is?
Yeah.
Plus, I remember. And that's funny how the universe works because you're the one came
Yeah.
to me about fasting. I was like, you can't make that up. Fasting. I say, babe, I know what you're gonna say, but guess what? And that's what you told me. We can do the 8 hours fasting. No. Listen. Wait, 8 hours, but obviously they do 16 hours, and you were like, they do 24-hour fasting, and they do the month fasting. No, I mean, you never said that, but you know what I mean. Like, there's whatever different length of fasting, and you know, you say, well, maybe we can try 16 hours. I was like, yeah, one of the 8 hours. But you say, yeah, 16 hours.
Yeah,
And
I did say that.
But I was like, okay, and I was like, all right, so no, and you know what, you know, I get on board with things anyway.
Yeah, because you're supportive. Because you're supportive.
So I thought
Naturally.
that's just the way it is. And
You
then
just said, all right.
I was like,
Okay.
okay, well, that's,
give it a try.
I was like, that's new, but yeah, okay, we'll do it. And
Didn't part of you be like, ain't that about a bitch?
Right, but that's probably what my resistance was, to just finish eating at 7:00. But to be fair, I'm French, so I'm from a Latin country. I'm not 100% French, I'm part French.
You're French, born and raised.
Yeah, born and raised in France, and so part of me, actually, mother, she's French, my dad is from Kenya, so that's it. So
Yeah, but you
I'll give the full,
full scoop.
right. So you know,
How did you become so black then?
well, exactly. So
Okay.
that's it. Now you know how that happened. So what happened? But at the time, I was like, well, yeah, like, okay, fine, yeah, why not? But as a French, as a person from a Latin country, because Latin country tend to eat later.
Yeah.
Like when
Way
it comes to
later.
dinner time. Now it might not be for all country, but for what I know, whether Italian or French or from Spain. And I remember that it was like a bit of a resistance for me when it came to that. Not that I did not agree, like I didn't think it was bad to stop eating at 7:00. I can see the perks in that and everything. That's fine. I have no resistance as far as that concerned, but my habit, obviously, or what they are, or what they were. And I think what it is I thought, also at the time, I thought, yeah, but these people are known to live long and kind of have healthy lifestyle. So it's not so much about you stopping eating at 7:00 or anything. So that's probably where it was for me. But anyway, moving on, we tried it, and you kind of realize yourself, like, how good it was for yourself anyway to do that.
Yeah.
And the power in it, and I felt the same way. I mean, it's nice to actually fast, even if you forget about what time you start, what time you finish, but at least your body doesn't eat for, say, at least 16 hours. That's
Give yourself a rest.
give yourself a rest.
Those
yeah.
things were like the beliefs I held before would stop me from even being able to see that as a possibility.
Yeah. I think it's for all. Every time you complain, I would say that's what happened. You cannot even fathom the idea that the very thing you don't like, you've asked once you ask for it, and it's actually for your greatest good.
And I would say also
highest good,
it's
I should
where
say.
you hold resistance to a new belief that's trying to usher its way in.
Yes, that's really
Because look what it opened up.
Yeah. I mean, I had resistance about other things. I mean, like certain ideas, even like if it was to about, say, selling the car, or
Yeah.
you know. But then I realized now, obviously, like we say about the microphone, I've asked to clearance. So when an idea of getting rid of something, it's also partly because it's coming to my consciousness, my field, my energy field, because I've asked for it.
Yeah, you called it in.
Yeah, you called it in. So every time you complain about something you don't like,
So
the very
what's
things
the
you
step?
don't like.
Go on, what's the step again?
What I would say, every time you complain about something you don't like, the very thing you don't like, you've called for it at some point, some level, and you take responsibility for that by the way you react to it. So you don't have to like it when it comes up, but then you can react in a way where you're like, okay, I don't prefer it, but saying to yourself, okay, it's there for a reason.
So why is it here?
So why is it here? And you can start
not why me, but like why for me?
Yeah, why for me? Exactly. How do you deal with it?
Like I said, the first step is like I do complain. one time, one good one, like bap.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something that I feel is like I really don't prefer.
Yeah.
Yes, as I said, twice, innit?
Yeah.
Because
Twice,
I'm gracious with myself. Hello, because I love myself. I give myself 2 good times to just be like,
yeah, you try to be like, okay, no more than okay. So okay, I see what you're doing. You go like full on for the 2 good times that are 100% with it, and then I'm just like, go, yeah, that's the way you deal with it.
Sometimes, not on everything, because sometimes I'm like, that's way too charged for what it is, boo. Like, calm down. But on things that is like catch me off guard, of course I'm like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I'll say to myself, all right, what is it that I don't like about this? What is it that I don't prefer about this? And then I'll say to myself, okay, when I feel this way, it brings up, and then I'll see what it brings up. I don't prefer this because it brings up ...
And I guess you can push it further by saying, okay, but what does it bring up? That feeling.
And then I dig into that bag.
Okay, and you try to see, yeah.
I dig into that bag and I'm like, oh.
I dig to some of them, but some of them I just let go because the fundamental of it, I'm just like, it's so weak. Like, I just realized how, like, I don't have an example right now, but basically there's some stuff you complain, it brings up an emotion, and you realize this emotion is like so full, like ego full, like it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
like
but
it's absolutely up there, and you by looking at it, you're like, oh my gosh, like
yeah, like I said,
like
some things are like that.
Some
things
like you're like, oh, you know what? Let me let it go. And
some things like, really are like that.
Too much.
Some things really are like that,
and they're not even worth like going even back because you realize like once you've like.
I get it.
Feeling behind it.
Listen. Like, why do you guys like always move my scissors?
Yeah.
I could go into that.
Yeah.
And then I said to myself, but why? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I get it. Some things it's like it's too petty for you to unpack. It's like, okay, I get what that is.
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes even like.
But then, are you judging it as petty? If it keeps on coming up, however, I address it.
If it keeps
you
on
see
coming
what
up,
I mean?
yeah.
If it's always, you find yourself always coming back to the same old niggle.
Yeah.
Then it's like, why am I re-looking at this at the buffet?
Yeah. Oh yeah, but I'm just saying when something come up and you realize like immediately there's some stuff come up like so for instance, you don't like when someone put it here and not here, and you realize like there's hardly no difference between the two places, and then you realize like. Am I being territorial? Yeah, totally. You're like, oh, I'm 100% territorial. Like
yeah, and you're like,
so, yeah,
exactly. And you're like, oh, boom.
Yeah, so that's like.
But then you handled it though.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Either
exactly.
way, you handled it.
You're right. In its own way, it just kept. It was quick. You
Whether
didn't have to
it be
go deeper.
a let go or a sort through, then let go. Either way, we letting go.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I know for you, but for me, I found out with dealing with the children, a lot of things like this came up. Because children will do certain things, and then you cussing, and then you realize, what am I really cussing about? And sometimes things as petty as just you're just being petty, but you're being petty. But when you go back, you realize because when you were a kid, you didn't have much. You felt you didn't have much, and every adult used to tell you like, "Don't use, or you can't put that here, or whatever." So by the time it came to you time, you felt like somewhat you had to be respected. And it's come from this type of treatment and stuff like that. So you give yourself compassion to release, really.
But then what I find out is when I've handled complaining like this, it's allowed me to be way more compassionate with myself and others.
Yeah.
And then also see like you were supporting me.
Yeah.
But if I was stayed in the complaint, I was too much in the rage of it to see, oh, he's actually supporting me.
And it's something you said once as well. It's about the ability to respond, to be responsible. But like actually, you said that the ability to respond, like in all your abilities, and you realize sometimes when you complain so much in it,
it takes away your responsibility.
You're not able
Yeah,
you're just not able
to respond.
Yeah. You
That's
get like
alright.
almost like a brain freeze, like just get stuck on the.
It's literally a blockage.
It's a blockage, yeah.
It's
Yeah, I see
literally
it.
a blockage. But now look at me now. Look at me now.
Thriving.
Intermittent fasting and everything.
It's true,
No
though.
one's lost any
Yeah.
fingers.
Yeah.
Like I'm still here. Like you know.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
gosh.
how you have to look at it. I'm sure. I mean, will come up, like in the course of this season, like with other ways,
Oh, they come up.
to-
Things
to-
come up.
to even talk about certain things, how to deal with certain things. But as an overall, I would say, when it comes down to complaining, it just don't serve you and exacerbate the very first things you're complaining about every single time.
Instead
What
of
about-
maybe putting it under
What about
the
for
light
you?
that it could be under.
Yeah. What about you? What would you say, like, if you had what complaining is, what it does to you, and how you deal with it? What would you say?
I would say that complaining is a judgment. A judgment about something you don't prefer.
Do you think you only complain about judgment? Like, you only have judgment when you complain?
No, you can have judgment about a lot of things in a lot of ways. I just feel like complaining is when you see something you don't prefer and attach a judgment to it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't ask my question right. I mean, do you think that every time you complain is because of somewhat a judgment you have on something?
I'm talking about me personally, yeah. Like,
No preference.
I think it's a preference.
Yeah.
I don't like something. It could stay there. Wow, I don't prefer that. Move on. But it's wow, I don't prefer that. Whose fault is that?
Yeah. Blame.
Then
Straight up.
ensue blame,
Blame, yeah.
then shame.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna fight.
Yeah.
Anger. Here we are. Now
Yeah.
so it's like
Yeah, it's pretty up there with road rage and stuff like that. You get into that state.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Even
If I track what it is that I'm seeing, I'm like, okay, so that's what she does. Interesting.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, you can not prefer it, Shem,
Yeah.
but try not to judge why you don't prefer it. Just understand that the feeling came up to alert you about something that needs to probably be cleared. Because whatever it is, you don't prefer it.
Yeah.
Because once you know what you don't prefer, you know what you do.
Yeah.
So even if you're sitting in traffic, say,
Yeah.
it's a general complaint that everyone...
Yeah. But what
it could bring up the idea, do you even like driving? And then you could say... Because remember what happened when we first came to England?
What happened? Oh, yeah.
I drove in France. I
yeah.
drove like the 6-hour thing. I drove part of that drive.
Yeah, I remember.
And then and then when we got to the train,
Yeah.
I got out the car.
Yeah.
I said, I'm switching with you. I'm not driving there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not driving there.
Yeah,
and you were like, why? And I was like, I don't prefer driving in England.
Yeah. It's
Especially
something.
London. Like, London? No.
Yeah, it's
and
pretty
I
up
knew
there.
we were going London.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, no.
Yeah, I remember.
Because I already know.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I dissected why I complained every time I drove there, where I was like, oh, I just don't like this. Why? Because it makes me feel frustrated. I feel like it makes me feel under attack because I have to defend myself constantly. Like, it just takes me out of my pocket of joy, like, too much, whether it's people just being angsty at you or swearing at you or whatever it is. It's not easy. And then I realized, okay, take people out of it. What else don't you like about it? The roads are small and I prefer country roads and I was like, oh, well, then just don't do it then.
Yeah, that's it. That's actually grown up to do that.
So I know, like,
you know
and
what
I
I mean.
remember when I came here, my mum was like, "Oh my God, you're gonna lose the life. You have to drive. You're gonna lose your independence." I was like, "Mum, I've been driving for long enough to know. I've been driving like 10 years plus, like more than 10 years. Like, I'm not gonna just forget how to drive.
Yeah.
I've decided I'm not going to be a part of something that I don't prefer.
Yeah.
Because what's the point?
I mean-
Complaining when I got to drive here and complaining about the traffic and I was like,
Yeah. And I think
you know what I mean?
I think when you first complain, what you end up to do is you build up a momentum, and so I guess it's part of manifesting. You do attract certain situations that are going to give you
More to complain about.
Yeah, actually, the opportunity to complain more, because it's kind of in a way what you ask. You're going to delay certain blessings, but also you also can escalate certain situation very easily, because when you're already riled up about, and then one thing is like road rage, when you're riled up about the traffic being, a law and people being idiots, and you already have a strong judgment away.
Two potato.
Yeah, by the time you come into a confrontation, it just get out of hand.
I thought to myself, I'm much better in the passenger seat. I'll much better serve the situation in the passenger seat if we're driving in London than I would in the driver's seat. Not because I can't handle the car, not because I can't handle the roads, not because I can't park the car, nothing to do with
It's where
ability.
emotionally you can probably
Emotionally,
provide.
I'll be way stronger.
yeah.
I'll be able to say, don't worry about it, babe. Oh, babe, look, this person's going to step out. I know they're not supposed to. I know, but they don't give a shit. They're going to come out.
Yeah,
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I'll be more of an emotional buffer. Like, I'll be able to I can hold space in that way now.
Yeah. Do you know what?
But in the driver's seat, I can't hold that space. And I said, well, then why are you there?
Yeah, gotta be able to. But it takes a while, because the last time I actually realized that I'm ready to just not even respond, which is a response in itself, to any sort of road rage or confrontations, while driving. It's when we had that incident when we just arrived here, and maybe 4 months ago, and that guy decided to just be disrespectful.
Oh yeah, hit different when it come out of someone else's mouth.
And it's funny because he was basically asking me to do the impossible from the start, because basically it was like a main road, and basically as you come onto the main road, it's in like a 90-degree angle, and you've got cars parked all the way along the road, so which you can't see the traffic coming, so you kind of have to like edge out the front of your car, and hopefully someone is kind enough to let you go. So there was enough space. I just went, and I picked up as well when I went. It was fast enough, because obviously I've been driving for quite some time now. So I know how to handle most of the car. So I just started driving fast enough, but the guy got just riled up and upset.
But you pulled out on him.
Pulled out. Somewhat he felt I pulled out on him, because he felt I shouldn't go, but I did not. Didn't even a chance to cause the accident. But I knew already that he had a bit of a issue, because it was like flashing, I think, or beeping.
He was flashing. He was beeping. I was like, babe, paying no mind.
No, we're paying no mind. By the time we parked at the light, he felt to come right next to the car, wind down his window, which I went on my window asking him what he wants. Remember?
I was like, why? And this is why I was like, why are you asking him what he wants?
And he said, yeah, he was
because
upset.
I was like, because normally you'd be like, what do you want?
Yeah, no, I literally asked him. I said, "Yep," and then he was like, it was like a.
He was swearing.
He
was swearing.
Blah, blah, blah.
He was calling you a fucking idiot and this, that, and the other.
And I said to him, "So what do you want? Do you want an apology?" He didn't know what to say. I said, "Listen, I'm sorry about that." I actually gave him what he wants, and that's when I realized. I said, "You see."
And then he still kept on going.
Yeah.
And it was like
he didn't swear, but he was wild. Like
he swore.
No, once I gave him the apology, which was funny. All that time he did not. He was just being rude and trying, without swearing, like trying to say, "Yeah, you're responsible," trying to a lot of things.
Baby, you wind down the window. He called you a fucking idiot.
No, that was after.
No.
Once I did the apology.
I'm here watching the whole thing
Well,
play out.
it doesn't matter, but yes. So basically, and I was
Because
like,
don't forget, at the same time,
yeah,
this is what I used to get. I used to, and then another thing, I used to also get upset with the fact that
Yeah.
you used to want to engage
yeah,
in anything to do with the road.
yeah. But no.
And I'm
anymore.
like, number one, you're a big guy. Number two, the truth of the matter is,
yeah,
I'm not the type of girl to try and get my man in the pasa. Because it's real out here. Some people get their man
Yeah.
in the pasa, and then something ensues. When you know that your man's really about that life, you're not trying to get him in the pasa because you know it could really go down.
But the thing is, when I actually, because I thought, okay, the way you are, I'm gonna ignore you. You're gonna try to get my attention. So you want my attention, I give you my attention, no problem. But not the way you think I'm gonna give my attention. So I was like, literally asking the guy, like, okay.
Oh no,
what do you-
100%.
And then
I was
but that's why
proud
I
of the way
knew-
you dealt with it.
I knew why I was done with it, because ignoring someone when something happened is also a form of provocation. And I know you can say this, but when someone wants to address, he wanted to address. That's,
Yeah,
okay.
I know. He stopped. He could have pulled up way further, but he literally stopped and left
Yeah.
like 3 car spaces just to pull up at our car.
So I was like, okay, fine. I said, yeah. And then I said,
As soon as he wound down, I was like, sorry about that.
yeah,
I knew what was coming.
You did, but then he was like, doing those things, and I
And
said,
then
yeah.
he was like, and that's
And
why I
asked
said
him-
he was like, you
asked him,
fucking idiot, you fucking blind, you didn't
Yeah.
fucking
I was
see
like,
me, you
But I was
and I
like,
was like, oh, he's upset.
Yeah, it was. I thought, wow. And I was like, oh. And there's 2 things I've noticed. First, I say, okay. I say, would you like me to apologize? So I say, oh, I'm sorry. Obviously, yes. I'm sorry about that. Still proceeded to be rude and swear. I didn't know what to do with the apology. And I realized, like, at this moment, I realized not only I was done with that, I don't want anything to see with it, but also the universe will always give you what you want. But will you be able to take it?
You wanted to be
To
done
receive
with
it.
it, and when the chance came to be done with it,
You wanted me to know.
you were done with it.
You felt it was important for me to know that what was maybe dangerous as far, and you felt threatened in a way, and maybe I was an idiot, and you want me to know all of this. Okay, fine, go on, let me know. You've got what you want. You literally got what you want. But that's why I was like, you see, that's what these things are for. And I could just, change my whole perception of my day, because at the end of the day, I feel like I was in a egregious situation, the same way he did.
Yeah.
Or I could just say, oh, that's just the universe just showing you maybe how things aren't that serious.
Yeah.
So,
And
So-
I'm going to keep
so in
100
some
as
level,
well.
I
I'm like, but
needed-
why was I here?
yeah.
I was like, but why was I here? Because, there's many days you've gone out without me. Why was I here to witness all of this? One, I do trust the fact that if you say you're not going to get in a pasa, you're not.
Yeah. Because I was like, nah.
You were like, nah, you were done. Yeah?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I thought, when's the last time you criticized yourself, babe?
Yeah.
And I think maybe that day I'd said to you something, like that day 2 things had happened. And I think you dropped something. I think you dropped your glasses or something like that. And you were like, oh, for fuck's sake. No.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you were like, for fuck's sake, Amondi. Like, you were just like, because you
Yeah.
dropped it again and you had to clean it again.
Yeah,
and you were
yeah.
like, So you were just going and you were thinking like, oh, fuck. And I was just like, noticing that I was like, don't say that.
Yeah, true.
I remember saying that to you that day, like, don't say that.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah.
your glasses, like,
Yeah.
you didn't do anything. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
like, don't say that. Don't talk to yourself like that. That's what I thought. Yeah? And then I thought, okay. And I think the day before that, something had happened where I thought to myself, you fucking idiot. Yeah?
Yeah.
Not about myself, about you.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, fucking idiot. Like, I don't know what it was,
Yeah.
but my first thought, lovingly, was,
Yeah,
you fucking
yeah,
idiot. Okay? Just under my breath. I
Yeah.
was here with that fucking idiot. Yeah?
Yeah.
So when we went out
Yeah.
and that happened that day, I was like, I was left with a little bit of a sting. So yes, we handled it like that.
Yeah.
But as we're driving off, you wind up the window. I was like, you know what? That's really good, babes. Like you handled that really well. And then you were like, yeah. And then we were in silence. And I think you were thinking about like bringing your like emotions back to center.
Yeah, that's what.
And I was thinking about the same thing. Like we just took a minute to just be like.
It's the first time because before I left, this is the thing. Something happened that day because the first time, my emotion never went anywhere. It's like it was
you were just like.
It was like.
Yeah, but I felt the same way. Like my emotion never went anywhere. But I was like, but then what is this? What is this pang? What is this? What's this thing in my heart? What's this thing in my chest? And I was like, oh, it's like it was guilt. Because I was like, it hits different when you hear it. The same words you would say to yourself from somebody else's mouth.
Yeah, of course.
And it hits even more different when they didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
And you hear it from somebody else's mouth.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Because you know what? I felt
when
Yeah.
situations like that now happen, I don't do that anymore. I'm not like fucking idiot. I'm not.
No, yeah.
It's. I know. I'm not. Because it doesn't feel right when it just don't feel right anymore. When I was able to look at it in 3D and it came from someone else and it was to you and I was like, ooh.
But this is the way the universe works, because you'll have opportunities to witness, see certain situations, and have the opportunity to complain if you even want to. Could complain about the situation the whole day. That happened before.
We didn't though.
That happened before. But it was like the first time, actually, usually a couple of times before that, if I had anything, I was like complaining about it a little, and I was like able to say let it go. But this time it was like it did not affect me even. I didn't know, and that was one of the most egregious things I had done to me driving, in terms of
since you've
someone
been here.
taking the liberty. Yeah,
I know. And do you know what? I was like respect, because if we were in France, that would have been pull up.
But you know what it is? I was like, okay.
You just weren't. You weren't there.
I just saw. I can almost, as soon as he parked next to us, I almost knew that he wanted something he wasn't ready to receive, and I had a reflection on myself in like, you know, I still judge him a little at the time, but that's also because, you know, I judging myself. But it's the idea that you really want something badly, and why you want them behind, like what the idea behind that, and then and you ask for them, and then when the time comes, you're in full on mode, complaint mode about the same things you've asked, but you
can't see the very thing that you asked for is right there for you.
Yeah. So
he was complaining. He got what he was actually asking for, which is recognize that you've done something that's egregious to me.
Yeah.
And plus, then he, on top of it, he got not only recognition but an apology.
Yeah.
Couldn't pick both of them up. Couldn't pick either of them up because he was so much in his complaint.
Yes, and then I realized then because we've heard another story like this. Someone apologized and they went, you know, they keep pushing, and that guy just happened to be a big guy, and they just got sorted out then and there. They didn't expect this to be the outcome, but that's what happened. And I was like,
well, that doesn't have to be our story either.
No, it doesn't have to. But then I realized how vulnerable you are when you do that, because you keep on actually bringing this situation to yourself, like inevitably, because that's the way you respond to things, which is the inability to respond.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that I would say, the power of complaining, it has a power.
It's blinding at times.
Yeah, you do not have to like.
You could complain once. You could go beep.
Yeah, it's
or
not. Yeah, it's no power to have, but
he could. The thing is, he complained more than twice.
Yeah, do you know what?
He broke the rules.
Yeah, but exactly. It broke the rules exactly. But the truth is, if you think about it, words have power, right? And most of the complaint consists of a suite of words, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
like
One after the other.
one after the other. So you're like
Spell.
reinforcing, yeah.
Spell.
So that's the thing. Anyway, but yeah.
So let us know about what you feel about complaining.
And please don't complain about the sound.
And don't complain about it.
Don't complain about the sound of my mic that's going.
It is what it is, okay? Patreon is up and running, okay?
Why?
I think we're going to do like just a little donate button. You know what it's for. It's for the new mic.
Yeah.
It's for the new mic. It's for
Feel free.
It's for a chair that don't creak so much. But you know what? Blessings, because this chair spins.
Yeah. But you know what's funny about these things? You complain about a lot of things in this life. They think, oh, this thing don't work and that. And when you look back, you had so many opportunities to buy them back. You just choose not to.
Real.
But you don't want to own it. Like, you don't want to say like, I could have, and I did not.
Listen.
And that's failing me now.
Where is your journey on complaining? I'm not trying to tell you to walk around and not complain about anything. We've been spoke about that. You can. But where are you on like what you think, how it serves you? How do you think it serves you? And as always, like, thank you for being here. Thank you for co-creating this. Thank you for, listening in, and it's been a wonderful conversation. And we've enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
All right. So until next time.
Ciao.
Ciao.